Hello everyone, my name is Preston Dennett. Today I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about a very interesting USO case, unidentified submersible object. I've been researching UFOs since about 1986, started getting USO cases right away, and it wasn't until, 2006 that I really started buckling down and investigating specifically USO cases off the Southern California coast here. I've written a book about it. It was published in 2018. It covers more than 150 cases, at least 70 cases of UFOs over the water here right off the coast at the Santa Catalina Channel, and an equal number of USO cases, objects coming in and out of the water. It's a very active area. I'm still getting cases. It's been photographed on a number of times, but I'd like to talk about one particular case which occurred in 1998 at Leo Carrillo Beach. This is right along the coast of Malibu and right in the heart of all the activity, really, and involves a man who I'll call Dan, and he had a party going on at Leo Carrillo Beach with a bunch of friends, about 50 friends really. It was sort of a renegade beach party that they hadn't really planned, and they were all having fun, and Dan was down by the beach with a small group of other people looking at these weird lights in the water. It was a very beautiful night. The bioluminescent algae was in full bloom, but there were these objects, what looked like an oil rig, out on the water there. It was huge, it was covered with lights, but they were in sort of weird patterns, and they were sort of debating what it could be when a smaller craft broke off and took off like a cigar boat real fast to the right, to the north, and separated from the main object. So that they were wondering what the heck it could be. This big object now looked like a cruise ship practically, and it was pretty close. They turned around and walked up to the main party, at which point something very bizarre happened. A very bright light came up from the cliffside there. Now the beach is located right along the Pacific Coast Highway, and this spot is, the highway is not visible, and there's no parking lot up there that could be causing these kinds of lights. It was very strange. Now what was more strange is what happened next. This light switched off, and coming down the staircase was a group of about 10 to 15 humans, or humanoids. They were all wearing blue jumpsuits, all looked sort of Mesoamerican, South American, about 5 feet tall, short hair, all pretty identical looking, not identical, but like brothers. And it was very strange because they said nothing but started to walk among the group. And Dan and the others were looking at them, and the people are not communicating, but they're holding something in their hands, which Dan at first thought might be beer bottles or books or something, but there were flashing lights on them. And suddenly he looks up and he sees that one of these guys is actually standing on top of the lifeguard tower there. So it started to get very strange. This is a quote directly from what Dan said. And I'm quoting here, "I looked over at the lifeguard tower on the beach, and there was somebody, one of the figures, sitting on the outside, on the top of the lifeguard tower, beaming a light out toward the ocean. It seemed like maybe a high-powered flashlight. It was a bright light that went out toward the water, and I remember thinking how strange that was, because the lifeguard towers are built in such a way that you can't actually climb on the outside, and they're locked from the inside. So I wasn't really sure how anybody got on top of one of these things." Says Dan, "The folks in the jumpsuits are walking around us and we're seeing these lights, and the next thing I remember is the folks that joined us are gone, and a good 20 of us were standing in two parallel lines, equally spaced maybe 3 feet apart, and at the base of our feet was an indentation in the sand of a circle, like you put a cup in the sand and see the indentation, maybe an inch deep and 2 inches wide, as if you were to draw a stick in the sand around us. We each had these circles around our feet, and we all sort of came back to consciousness, noticing our feet and seeing these circles and commenting on it. At this part, the party broke up. Everyone went back home. Some years passed, nobody talked about it. Finally, Dan just started remembering these things and asked the people who were there, and most did not remember anything. They did not remember seeing any humanoids, did not remember anything in the water. A few did remember seeing the objects in the water. None remembered the humanoids except for one other person. So it's an interesting case and definitely still open to investigation, but one of many cases involving humanoids. It's definitely a very active area. It's been recognized by many major researchers and continues to produce cases. Thank you.